Despite an affinity for plaid and corduroy pants, Milo was unbearable. But Welk didn't care to discuss his absence from class this morning, waiting to have a shine of tradition for him to sleep on his kitchenette floor just before dawn. I'm thinking that might be good. Bugging? Try to fix it. On the topmost paper. Ronan Lynch! Is that his homework? To read the name on the front. Welk agreed that it was, as he did a few boys on their way to routine. Older than Milo dismissed class because it was never Ronan Lynch, it was Nancy and Adam Parrish. All the boys in his class were affluent, but the three of them anyone else. Welk struggled to remember if Ronan had ever missed a class with him. The days of the school year blurred together. A day that began with Welk in his cars, making his way past lab in front of a room of students who were glassy-eyed at best and derisive at worst. And at the end of the day, haunted he was once one. Welk shrugged. I don't remember him scared. You have him with Gansey, though, don't you? Milo asked. That explains it. Those two are tight as ticks. One that Welk hadn't heard since his own days at Agliambi, when he, too, had tight as ticks with his roommate Cerny. He felt a hollowness inside him, like he was hungry, like he should have stayed home and drank more to commemorate this miserable day. He swam back to the present, looking at the attendance sheet. The substitute teacher had left. Ronan was in class today, but Gansey wasn't. Not in mine, anyway. Oh, that's probably because of that St. Mark's Day he was talking about. This got Welk's attention. No one knew that today was St. Mark's Day. No one celebrated St. Mark's Day. Even St. Mark's mother. Only Welk and Cerny, treasure hunters and troublemakers, cared about its existence. Welk said, I don't know what all's going on, Milo replied. One of the other teachers said hi to him on the way, and Milo looked over his shoulder to reply. Welk grabbed Milo's arm, forcing his attention his way. It took effort to wait instead. Turning back around, Milo sensed Welk's interest, because he added, He hasn't talked to you about it? He wouldn't shut up about it yesterday. It's that ley line stuff he's always on about. Ley line. If no one knew about St. Mark's Day, truly, no one knew about ley lines. Certainly no one in Henrietta, Virginia. Certainly not one of Agliambi's richest pupils. Definitely not in conjunction with St. Mark's Day. This was Welk's quest, Welk's treasure, Welk's teeny ears. Why was Richard Gansey III talking about it? With the word ley line spoken aloud, a memory was conjured. Welk in a dense wood, sweat collected up on his upper lip. He was 17 and shivering. Every time his heart beat, red lines streaked in the corners of his vision, the trees darkening with his pulse. It made the leaves seem like they were all moving, though there was no wind. Cerny was on the dying. His legs still pedaled on the uneven surface beside his red car, making drifts of fallen leaves behind him. His face was just done. In Welk's head, unearthly voices hissed and whispered, words blurred and stretched together. So sad. Afraid that Milo could see them. He would do a line, he asked. I'm sure he'd love to. Milo looked over his shoulder as the secretary joined them in the hall, her bag on her arm, her jacket in her hand. Her eyeliner smudged after a long day in the office. We talking about Gansey III and his new age obsession? The secretary asked. Her hair to keep up. Welk stared at the stray strands that wound up around the lead. It was clear to him that the way she stood, that she secretly found Milo attractive, despite the plaid and the corduroy and the beard. She asked, Do you know how much Gansey Sr. is worth? I wonder if he knows what his kids but his kids spend time on. Man, sometimes these make me want to slit my wrists. Not. An easy glance from the second one about and worth. Once upon a time, and how little he was worth now. Long after the trials had left the front pages of the newspapers, I hated them for what they had and what they stood for. And Wilk knew they were all secretly pleased that he had fallen down among the ranks.